This week in Jamaica Now, dancehall artiste Capleton released on bail after being charged with rape and sent a message to his fans.
Just be strong, we in good spirit, it's all about life over there.
Prominent attorney Jennifer Messado arrested in major fraud probe, and another lawyer questioned in connection with the murder at his mansion 20 months ago. Dexter Street gangsters busted. The police have linked them to the shipment of 19 guns last November. Why pedal cyclists could be sent to prison. Warmington at it again.
It's the agenda and plan and action of the Gleaner Company and RJR, and they're not going to succeed.
And the abortion debate renewed, the latest in the poll results. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. A corporate area judge has warned dancehall artiste Capleton that his $250,000 bail could be revoked if he misses one court date. On Monday, Capleton, whose real name is Clifton Bailey, made his first court appearance on a rape charge. Clerk of Court Hansard Lawson had asked the judge to order that Capleton surrender his travel documents, saying he could request it for travel when he needed to go overseas. But Parish Judge Vaughn Smith turned down the request. Attorney Christopher Townsend had earlier indicated that Capleton has a number of overseas shows from May 25 to June 27. Capleton is to return to court on June 14. In granting bail, the judge said Capleton should not have any contact with the complainant. Capleton has been arrested for raping a 51-year-old woman on April 28 at a corporate area hotel where she had gone after being hired by Capleton to groom his hair. The woman made a report to the police on May 2. Capleton's attorney said that the woman made the report after his client rejected her attempts to extort him, a matter now being investigated by the police.
They went to the scene and they were told certain things that contradicted the complainant's account. They should have taken statement from those witnesses and presented to the authorities, certainly persons in higher command, so that a proper decision can be taken as it relates to the investigation moving forward.
Capleton later left the Halfway Tree Courthouse with a message for his fans.
Just be strong, we in good spirit, it's all about life over there, it's all about good over evil, and I said and I will continue to do good, righteousness do exalt the nation.
Prominent real estate attorney Jennifer Messado is to return to court on fraud charges on July 3. Messado was this week granted bail in the sum of $800,000. Her co-accused, the real estate broker Beverly Barakat, has been offered bail in the sum of $50,000. Messado has been ordered to remain at her house between 6 o'clock in the evenings and 6 o'clock in the mornings and to surrender her travel documents. A stop order has been placed on her at the ports. Messado was arrested last Friday and charged with 2 counts of forgery, 2 counts of uttering forged documents, conspiracy to defraud, and causing money to be paid out by forged documents and money laundering. Barakat was arrested on Sunday and charged with conspiracy to defraud, forgery, and operating a real estate brokerage firm without a license. It is alleged that Barakat and Messado conspired to illegally transfer a property owned by the West Kings House Gospel Church. Meanwhile, another prominent attorney, Patrick Bailey, was this week questioned in connection with the stabbing death of a man inside his Upper St. Andrew home 20 months ago. Bailey turned in himself to the police Tuesday afternoon, accompanied by 2 top criminal defense attorneys, to give a second statement in relation to the September 30, 2016 death of Jermaine Jr., a 51-year-old construction worker. Jr.'s body was found with several stab wounds in Bailey's living room. Police investigators reported that a spent shell was found on the scene and that there were no signs of forced entry. Police detectives have revealed that the shipment of 19 guns intercepted at the Kingston Container Terminal in November last year was destined for the Westmoreland-based Dexter Street gang. The weapons and nearly 4,000 assorted rounds of ammunition were found in 2 freezers. 17 alleged gangsters, 13 males and 4 females, have been charged under the anti-gang legislation and were remanded when they appeared in court this week. However, Assistant Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey said the gang leader and the main financier, Shadane Patrick Robinson, also known as Gorgon, remains on the run. According to the police, Robinson fled the island for the United States while on bail on a murder charge. And investigators believe that 2 other members of the gang who are wanted by the police, O'Shane Rankin, also called Shabba, and Joanne Barnes, alias Spent Shell, have also fled to the U.S. Pedal cyclists who run the red light or refuse to obey stop signs could be dragged before the courts and fined a maximum $24,000. In default of payment, they could spend 10 days in prison. Under the new Road Traffic Act, pedal cyclists who breach the law will be issued summonses to appear before the court. The new law was passed in the Upper House a week ago with 161 amendments. The Road Safety Unit reports that 9 pedal cyclists are among the 119 road traffic fatalities since the start of the year. State Minister with responsibility for works in the Office of the Prime Minister, Warmington, was at it again this week, accusing the RJRGLEANER Communications Group of trying to bring down Prime Minister Holness and his government. Mr. Warmington made the allegation while chairing Tuesday's meeting of the Constituency Development Fund Committee. He had earlier welcomed Kadisha Campbell, the Prime Minister's former personal assistant, now the head of the CDF Management Unit.
But I do hope that the press will be a little more kind on the new director. And when you have gutter journalism, it keeps on just popping up, you know. And her qualification was questioned. And then you have a release from the PMP talk about she was special assistant to the PM and therefore political, what have you. We need to lift ourselves above the gutter.
The opposition says it is totally sickened by reports that the bodies of missing neonates at the Kingston Public Hospital were found among stray dogs in downtown Kingston. According to the PNP, the horrific incident reveals mismanagement of the hospital systems and the unspeakable lack of care, which warrant the ultimate sanctions. The Southeast Regional Health Authority has directed one of its directors, Dr. Patrice Charles, to lead an investigation into the matter. But the Shadow Minister of Health, Dr. Dayton Campbell, said the appointment is highly inappropriate and the results of any investigations carried out under Charles's leadership could not be taken seriously. Campbell has also called for the number of neonates that died in 2017 and 2018 to be made public. A new All-Ireland poll has found that 7 out of every 10 Jamaicans are firmly against abortion. 7 out of every 10 Jamaicans are also adamant that it is the woman's right to determine to terminate an unwanted pregnancy and not the government's. The survey conducted by pollster Bill Johnson found that only 15% of women and 23% of men argued that it should be up to the state to make that call. But the poll also found that 76% of men and 74% of women are against any change in the law to allow the termination of pregnancy just because a woman does not want a child. A vast majority of respondents are also against changes in the law to allow abortion if the contraceptive failed or if the woman believes she cannot raise or take care of a child. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more on Warmington's rant at a parliamentary committee this week about the RJRGLEANER Group and the Holness government.
We need to lift ourselves above the gutter. And the gutter journey we find, and we don't attack everybody's credibility or qualification because we have a different political view. And what we have with the opposition, you know, they're just seeking relevance. Because of their irrelevance, they have to jump on everything and try to seek relevance. And there's nothing on this to be political about. Nothing to be political about. When the media start to attack and you don't try to find, and they themselves that she's very qualified. It's the prerogative of the Prime Minister to appoint who he wants to appoint. He doesn't need to hear from the opposition or from the news media. He was elected to govern, and that we must respect at all times. And I say repeatedly that the agenda of the Gleaners to bring down Andrew Holness, and they're not going to succeed. They didn't support him, and they have never supported him, and they never support Labour Party. They need to stop it. The people of country are seeing through what they're doing. They need to stop that rubbish. And I'm wondering if people's mind and people thinking sometimes is warped based on maybe they received psychiatric treatment before, or maybe still receiving psychiatric treatment, and the minds become warped and unstable once the stuff they write. It's the agenda and plan and action of the Gleaner Company and RJR.